right, good Erev Shabbos, everybody. It's not really an Indian of today, but our friend Morning Shadow X brought up the subject of abortion, and I've discussed this a little bit from the Jewish perspective about how this is viewed, because a lot of people misinterpret it in both ways, and I think the most eloquent way that I've ever heard it expressed was from a colleague of mine down in Virginia. We were both guest speakers in the college there, and this rabbi said when he said there's no rabbi, he means, authoritative opinion in Jewish law. There's no rabbi that says all abortions are okay, and there's no rabbi who says no abortions are okay. The question is, in between there, where is it allowed and where is it not allowed? And that's the question. And so I would say that this concept that we used to hear about safe, rare, and legal, I think it were the three terms that we often heard: safe, rare, and legal. Is that doesn't encompass the Jewish view on abortion, but it certainly would be part of what we are talking about here. That we do have a concept. Oh, that little doe made it across with her mama, or his mama, I don't know. So there was this trailer in front of me, and he had to stop short. But the ruts could see. They were running like a deer, and they were deer. It's like a sauna in here. But this is a serious issue, and I'm sorry I got distracted. And there is lacking. Obviously, abortion is legal in these 50 states, but the question about safe and rare, I think there's issues with both of them, but mostly with the issue of rare. And to me, the strongest moral argument against the abortion industry, not against the legalization of abortion in rare cases, but the greater abortion industry, is that there's been the brainwashing. Not that this is some kind of a tragedy, but rather, there's this idea on the left of it's almost a sacrament in certain ways. There was this horrifying video on TikTok, and I don't know if this was a actual pregnancy or just making fun or what, but it was disgusting and evil, where there was a young woman who was crying about how she was pregnant and it's going to ruin her life and this and that, and which it's not going to ruin her life. This other tweet that came out today that was or yesterday, something that was really quite shocking as well about this subject about why would any woman under 35 or 40 want to ruin their body? And this is nothing new under the sun. This is the story of when they could have fun with as many hot guys as they want, was the tweet that this woman said, and just the emptiness and vainness of this. Just that people can be so empty, and this is the society that we're living in, and there's nothing new under the sun. That's really the story of Aaron Onan, was that that was why they didn't want Tamar. She was so beautiful, and they felt that they're going to ruin her beauty by having her be pregnant, and it's just like it really is sick, and that's why they were evil in the eyes of the Lord, and why the Lord slew both of them, because of this ideology, this lack of understanding that, well, you came from somewhere, and this lack of this responsibility of being fruitful and multiplying and continuing the species. Uh, but there was another video where, like I said, there was this young woman and she was crying, and then she was like, "Just kidding, I made the appointment already," and she took a bottle of wine and drank down. That's just evil. That's not, that's not what we're talking about, safe, rare, and legal. And it's bone chilling that anybody could even, imagine that that's appropriate, even as a joke. And I don't think it was a joke. And then the real crux of the abortion industry, and if we know the history of it, and not just the history, but the current facts, is rooted in eugenics and in racism. And in reality, the Planned Parenthood is a lynch mob, and they're lynching black babies in the womb. And they also, the elitists on the left, see a lot of the poor white people along those same lines, and have just as much contempt for them as they do for blacks and for other minorities. And a lot of people say, oh, just because Marilyn Sanger herself was a horribly evil, racist person, doesn't taint the legacy of the organization that she started. But the fact of the matter is, there are a lot more commercials for abortion providers in black communities and in primarily black media. And so too, there is this there was a call made to Planned Parenthood. Could I make a donation that will specifically go to black abortions? And maybe they're painting that like, oh, we're saving these poor women from having to raise children that they can't afford, or something along those lines. But really, it's a genocide against the black race. You're it's already for 15, maybe 20 years already, in New York City, a black baby is more likely to be lynched in the womb by the Democrats, the party of the KKK, the party of lynching. That's their history. Why do we think that they changed? There's this myth that the parties flipped, yet they didn't change. They're still convinced that race is the most important thing. That's what the Democrat ideology has always been, and it's been consistent all throughout their history, all the way back to Andrew Jackson. That there is something fundamentally important about race, as opposed to, and that's a stream that runs all the way through the history of the Democrat Party. And that's really the main reason why they push so much for abortion. Is really, it's a genocide. It's lynching in the womb. And so you want to talk about what Judaism sees about abortion. We're talking about very rare cases where a mother's life is in danger. You want to say that suicidal tendency is along those lines, and then you could talk about the Shalis Yavitz and all these other things, about very rare cases. And like the story with this girl who's a valedictorian, and she changed her speech that was approved for her to give and to talk about this subject. And she's saying she's frightened. What if she's raped? And well, if God forbid she's raped, and we don't wish that on anybody, there is a rape kit that right away, which could include also, the morning after pill and these types of things, which are not being banned by the law in Texas. So what is she talking about exactly? She's going to wait 6 weeks after she's raped. All right, maybe, she's worried that she's going to get kidnapped. Like, you're talking about very rare cases. And making it like this is, it's a horrible thing, and we don't wish that on anybody, God forbid. And anybody who does that should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But uh, it's really it's not what the law is talking about there. So that's another thing. So thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you.